Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Did you know that taking time off for health reasons at the casino is a huge adventure? You'll find out why in our first story. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. You've taken too much sick leave. So a buddy of mine works at a casino, and this casino has a system going where they monitor your sick days, and if they think you're developing pattern sick leave, they write you up for it and watch you like a damn hawk. Of course, 99.99% of the time, pattern sick leave is about as accurate as a baccarat pattern, but the management is firm on it, so most of the workers just deal with it. Like my friend, we'll call him Steve, because it always seems like a Steve does the wacky things. Steve recently took time off because he was, surprise, surprise, sick. Well, the casino took exception to that. The fact that Steve kept taking sick leave around his rostered days off meant that he was clearly just trying to have a longer time off and not because he was sick. Never mind that Steve provided the doctor certificates and everything. So Steve gets called to a meeting where they explain to him that they're now watching him and that he can't take any more sick leave or it's going on official record that he's chucking a sickie. Steve says, okay, dumb AF, but whatever. One day, about 2 weeks past this meeting, Steve gets extremely sick, vomiting, diarrhea, fever. Whatever makes a bad day worse, he got it. Steve thinks about calling in sick, but Steve turns up to work completely dead on his feet. The pit manager initially takes no notice. It's shift swap over time for his dealers, and it's very, very busy. Later, though, as he wanders around his pit, he notices Steve, who looks more slightly off-kilter and much, much paler than even the whitest of his Irish ancestors. The conversation apparently went something like this. Steve, dude, you look sick. Do you need to go home? Nah, I've been written up for pattern sick leave. Can't take any more. Steve, mate, you look sick. You sound sick. You need to go home. But I can't. I've been warned about taking any more sick leave. Steve, bro. Etc. and etc. Eventually, the pit manager has to call the floor manager down to make sure that it's on official record that Steve is legitimately sick and won't be reprimanded because he took more sick leave. Steve's still pretty proud of himself for that one. Edit. This is an Australian casino. We have universal health care, so employers abuse the hell out of it by making us get doctor certificates. Floor manager is an extremely important guy, way more important than the pit manager. They're also the ones who have the power to know the sick leave watching. And our second story. I don't care if the mall is closing, I want my service. So back when I lived in Philadelphia, I worked at this virtual reality center in the mall with HTC Vives, Oculus Rifts, and race car VR games. I mostly dealt with kids and teenagers, and a lot of them were really chill and got along with them really well. Our place charges $30 per hour of VR play, which is honestly a really solid deal considering these are $300 headsets with $1,500 PCs connected to them. So one night, I was by myself, and I was just about to start closing procedures when I saw a mom and her 2 kids jog into the store. Me. Hey guys, welcome to Store Name. How can I help you? CB. Hello, sir. I would like to purchase an hour of play each for both of my kids. I look at my watch, and to my surprise, it was 8:30. Me. Geez, I'm sorry, ma'am, it's 8:30 and the mall closes at 9, and customers are not allowed to stay past closing time. Now, at first, she seemed like a really nice lady. But boy, was I ever wrong. That's not what I came here for, points at her 2 kids. Hour. Each. Now. I was actually taken aback by what just happened in my mind. I was like, is this crap really happening? Ma'am, I'm really sorry, but I simply can't give you an hour tonight. If you want, I would be more than happy to give you a 30-minute session so you could still play. I don't want 30 minutes. I want hours, mister. Well, ma'am, that's simply not happening tonight. If you want, I could make you a reservation for tomorrow or sometime later in the week. I shouldn't have to make a reservation if I'm in the store. I tried my hardest to keep a straight face after that sentence. All of a sudden, I hear footsteps running away from me, and at first I thought they were leaving the store. But when I looked up, I saw the mom trying to put one of her kids into a headset. I calmly walked over to the lady. Ma'am, please get your kid out of the headset. No, my kids are playing VR whether you like it or not. Now set my other one up. That's not happening. I was done being nice. Me. You need to get your kids and get out of the store now. Look, I'm a single mom. Can't you cut me a break? At this point, I don't care who you are. I already explained to you why you can't play. Please leave the store. CB at this point is just cursing at me, calling me names. While she's doing this, I tried to reach down and take the headset off the child. You are not to touch him. Let me have his VR game. Ma'am, please do not yell, and it's not his game, it's the store's. I felt so bad while this whole thing was going down because the other kid was just sitting in our store couch looking mortified. After a few minutes, I was finally able to get the headset off the boy, who actually seemed more happy to be out of the headset than in it. CB then took out her phone and started recording myself and the store. CB: So we're here at store name in Philadelphia, and this man's denying me service because I'm a woman. At this point, I thought this had to be some sort of gag, a joke perhaps. Nope, she was dead serious. CB then turns the camera on me. What do you have to say for yourself, mister? Me: Well, ma'am, two things. A, I'm not denying you service because you are a woman. I'm not giving you service because the mall is closing, and I legally cannot give you an hour. I already offered you a 30-minute session, but you denied it and tried to forcefully play VR games without paying at all. B, we have a strict no recording policy in this store. CB looked stunned and immediately put down her phone. CB: Fine, whatever. She started walking towards the door with her kids, but turns right as she's about to leave. Welcome to the world of Yelp. She then proceeded to stomp out of the store, and I was frozen in place, nervous as hell, thinking I was going to get fired or something. I immediately called my boss and explained to her what happened. She agreed with my decision and told me that everything would be okay. While more occurrences like this happened in the store, nothing would ever be this crazy again. And I worked there for another 2 years. And our last story. Leave us on a busy day? Have fun with the tab. This happened about 5 years ago, and I'm happy I did it. For context, I used to work in a pub for a few years to the point where I was the head barman. I had a manager who was infamous for skipping out on busy days. It was always something like, "Oh, I have a meeting today," or "We're really short on this, we need to get more." It wouldn't be so bad, but he was also a complete cheapskate and refused to hire the staff we needed. So it was sometime in November, we were expecting a cold winter day, but when I woke up, it was sunny and hot. I came in straight away with my manager running to me before we opened, saying about how it was an emergency meeting at the brewery. Not even an hour goes by, and the pub is packed. I'm left with the head chef and the new trainee barman. Keep in mind this pub was one of the biggest in my town and could easily fit about 300 people inside and 500 in the beer garden. A few hours into service, and I'm running a busy bar and a restaurant whilst running the food out and cleaning tables. Whilst the trainee, I felt so bad for him, was sorting out the tabs for the customers because at that moment, bills were the only thing my manager trained him to do. Right as we were in the middle of all this, a huge table of 30 people come in and ask to be seated. Now, trying to balance everything I was doing whilst making this big table happy was a challenge, but we somehow pulled this all off. By the end, I was tired, hungry, and angry at manager for leaving us like this. The pub was starting to quiet down, and people were paying off their tabs and leaving. As I finally wipe down and clean the bar, I lean over and start talking to the regulars to cool my mind. And no joke, as soon as the pub got quiet, in strolls my manager with the biggest grin, holding a bunch of shopping bags with his girlfriend right behind him. Turns out this meeting was a nice trip to the beach with his girl. He comes to me and goes, "Quiet day. Then if you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Don't be lazy." I was mad. Not only did he leave me practically on my own to serve about 600-ish customers, he has the balls to stroll in and see I'm exhausted and give me crap. I had to think of a way to get him back. Luckily, the table of 30, which came in, were getting annoyed at our trainee because he couldn't find the tab. I just hear the woman complaining about how long he's taking and they want to leave. So I go to help him and basically push him out of the way because I see him struggling and tell him to restock. I look at the till, find the tab, something along the lines of 400 pounds. I get an idea. Revenge start. I turn to the woman and say in my kindest, most polite customer service voice, "I am truly sorry for the inconvenience, madam, as it was extremely busy and we seem to have misplaced your tab on the till. But do not worry, I've had a word with the manager and he's told me that for the inconvenience, he'll comp the bill for you." The woman, obviously happy with this, smiles and says how wonderful this place is and leaves with her group. My manager then walks down and sees them leave and asks if they paid their tab, and of course I reply with a yes. When it was time to close, I handed him my notice and said goodbye to that crap place. The fun part, however, is when I returned a week later to say hi to the locals, and surprisingly, it was under new management. When I asked the locals, they said the trainee had gone to the owner about how unfair he was treated and how the manager is rude and unprofessional, and an area manager was sent to confirm if he was doing his job. And surprisingly, when she had inspected his records, it seems that 400 pounds of stock was not accounted for, and he was fired on the spot. This wasn't the first time things have gone missing, so he was already on a thin line. I still go there sometimes, and the trainee is now the head barman next in line for manager of his own pub, and he still talks about how he was this close to punching our old manager. The pub went from 3 stars to 4 stars too, so I think in the end it worked out great. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.